Hi, welcome to Mosaics, a podcast of the Idaho Office for Refugees. I'm your host, Holly Beach, and today we're here to highlight the Pace for Peace Run for Afghanistan that's happening on September 27th. And we're also here to highlight some of the things that people in our community from Afghanistan are going through, the accomplishments, the culture, what it brings to our community, and also some of the challenges that people are facing right now. So to join me for this conversation is Yasmin Aguilar. Thank you for being here, Yasmin.
You're welcome.
Yasmin is the Assistant Director of the Agency for New Americans, which is a resettlement agency in Boise. And also, if you may remember, as Syed Mirbacha. Welcome back, Syed.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Syed is a student at Boise State University and one of the organizers of Pace for Peace. So let's get started with you, Syed. This is the third Pace for Peace since the last year, I think. So happy 1-year anniversary to the
thank you.
organization. And what inspired your group to focus on Afghanistan for this race?
After our second race, which was May 24th, Pace for Peace Run for Refugees, of course, I've mentioned in the very first podcast that we are aiming to host 2 5K every year. One is to support the country, and then the second one to support local people here. And after that, our team came up with the idea of everyone should do a research about the country and come up presentation pitch and present it. Why would the upcoming race would be for that country and why this is important to you. Everyone brought up a country to present, and then I brought up Afghanistan, and everyone voted, the team members of Pace for Peace. And this is really important to me, and that's why we are running for Afghanistan now.
For people who might not know your background, can you share a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. My name is Syed, as you mentioned. I came from Afghanistan 4 years ago as a refugee, and currently I'm a senior at Boise State University studying global studies, environmental emphasis. I'm pursuing a minor degree in humanities and cultural studies and public humanities, and working on my 2 certificate in human rights and leadership.
Right. And also doing this amazing side project on top of all that. And I have gone to the Pace for Peace races, and the vibe of bringing people together is very strong. It was cool because the one in May supported Agency for New Americans, and I think really boosted the amount of fundraising that came in for
we never had Run for Refugee that big. We had so many people and so well organized by the Pace for Peace.
And you're mostly student organizers, right?
Yeah, we are student organizers. Some people who from our team who are already graduated college but are still like in the age college. And we have a student from high school who are also helping us out, all doing this volunteer work. And good news, during the summer we work on getting our nonprofit violation, and we finally got our 501c3.
Nice job.
So that's another exciting news.
That's amazing. Such good work for you all. Thank you for what you do for the community. It's so cool to see it coming from people of all ages, pitching in and doing things like that. So,
of course.
Yasmin, you work with refugees, and you have for a long time. Can you share a little bit about your background?
Sure. I came myself as a refugee from Afghanistan in 2000 to Boise, exactly in September of 2000, so it's 25 years.
Wow, happy anniversary to you too.
Thank you.
Wow.
And got a job with Agency for New Americans since, so also at work 25 years in different capacities. I started as a case manager, and in the past, before I came to US, I was a doctor with Mercy Corps International. I was monitor and supervise and train the doctors and other health staff in refugee camps, and also one clinic that Mercy Corps had in Afghanistan, Kandahar.
Wow.
So I wanted to go back to medical, but then noticed that there are not many people know refugees issues and be their voice. And since I had the same shoe already before, so I decided to stay, even though briefly I left and in mental health program, but I came back because that's, I think, my cause, and I can be advocate until I can.
Yeah.
And right now I'm at the agency working with different groups of refugees who are coming to the country to make sure that they have a smooth resettlement pathway and they are citizens of future of this country like me, being citizen for last 20 years, and we provide more to this community than the misconceptions are around.
Yeah, because people from Afghanistan have been coming to Idaho for a long time. And I know in the last 4 years since the U.S. military withdrawal, 1 out of every 4 refugees coming to Idaho has been from Afghanistan. So what has it been like for you to help people that, now that you've already been here 20 years, to help people that are just brand new coming here?
I think the best thing is for them and for me that we speak the language and we understand the pain and dislocation, because when you're leaving a place, and the group who were evacuated in 2021, they were not refugees in another countries. Once you become a refugee, you already know, you're moving from one country to another country, one city to another city, then you're coming. These people were just fresh leaving their country of origin and coming here, and that was the time when I came back to ANA.
Wow.
And it was really a good time. I was joking with our director. You knew that this happened.
Yeah.
So since I spoke Dari and Pashto, I think it was very helpful to talk to them, all of them. Hey, yesterday I was you and tomorrow you will be me, to give them a hope that I know that there is heart. The first few days or first few months depend, how fast the self-sufficiency can happen. But then there will be a day that you can, be like me, part of the community. So our goal was integrated in the larger society. They can have American friends or other friends from Afghanistan and make sure they have access to Afghan food, because you get homesick when you leave. Most of them, like we had minors that they didn't have their parents, and we have single people. Like Maine, no offense to Maine, they don't cook much Afghan food. How we can help them and how to support them. So that was really painful. How can I say bittersweet? At least they came here and there were many Afghans prepared to support them. We had many Americans who support them. As you know, the Afghans who were evacuated, they were allied with the U.S. government. Most of them were pilots, or Air Force staff, or they were ground forces, special forces working with Americans and support them, interpreters who lost their life or family members because of the cause they had. So many Americans also support the cause and being with us and help us with that pathway. And I was so happy that Idaho Office for Refugee got a grant for Afghan Culture Center. So there was a place that Afghans can get together, talk about. We brought attorney because when Afghan evacuation happened, they didn't come as a refugee. They were just paroled, and it was temporary status. And of course, now we know that there is no temporary status available for Afghans, the TPS, temporary protected status. So that was a place that we call people, attorney come and talk, because everybody was worried.
Yeah.
As you know, the situation in Afghanistan still getting worse, not better. So it was really hard, and I want Said maybe add, because you came on that time, how it was for you coming, how you felt when you came to Boise.
Yeah.
Leaving everything behind and moving to another country that I was never having the plan to was shocking and something new to me. Coming to Boise during the midnight, and the support and the community I found here was so heart-touching to me. And after that, there was a lot of people who came to Boise at the same time as me and my family came here in 2021. Going around and seeing someone who speaks the same language as you, Dari, our people from my community are doing great things, are accomplishing. I'm standing on my feet in a new country where I have never practiced the culture, I spoke the language, and making progress was something that I'm so grateful about, and grateful for all the advocates. And Yasmin is sitting right next to me as a really great advocate and leader for everyone and for Afghan community.
Yeah, I agree. When you had to leave Afghanistan, how much time before you left did you know that you would probably have to leave?
As I said, we had no plan that we were leaving. It was just a quick plan. Closer to midnight, we decided, I think it's gonna get worse, and it's not safe anymore. So let's pack a bag and get all the documents and leave at home over midnight.
Did you have to go over the border to a different country first, or did you get on an airplane, or how did you get out?
Yeah, so it was a really long process, leaving our house and leaving everything behind in the middle of the night, going to the airport, and it took us a whole day to get in the airport, Kabul airport, because thousands of people were surrounding the airport and trying to save their life and get in the airport and get a plane and go to another country for their safety, for their kids' safety, and for their future. It was really tough, and it took us a whole another day to get in the plane, and that was the U.S. Air Force plane. After we got the plane took us to Qatar, and we stayed there for about 2 weeks. And from Qatar, we took another U.S. Air Force plane and took us to Bahrain, and we stayed there for another 2 days. And right after that, we got the plane, and our destination was Washington, D.C. And from Washington, D.C. airport, we had another flight to Texas, and from Texas to New Mexico, El Paso City. And we ended up at Dona Ana camp, and we stayed there for a month and a half.
Wow, so it was just like one place after another, different camp kind of setting
Exactly.
to stay in. Probably a lot of other people around you, I'm picturing.
It was a really stressful and long journey, as I said.
Yeah.
About 2 months long.
And did you know where you were headed toward? Did you know you were going to end up in Boise, or was it just kind of like going along for the next place, wherever they tell you to go?
They were asking where they want to go, and we decided to come to Boise.
Any reason in particular?
Having friends and family here, and it was really hard because a lot of people were, I'm going to go to California, I'm going to go to New York, and the city usually or the state give the camp like a number, like this is how many refugees we can accept, we have the capacity. And then I believe we were the only one in the entire camp, which it was about 10,000 people there, said we're going to go to Boise.
Well, I'm glad you picked Boise.
Yeah.
And Yasmin, you mentioned that, this all happened quickly, and people, it wasn't the traditional refugee experience where you flee to that second country and then you wait a long time. And you kind of have this processing time to be like, okay, this is my life. This is what's happening. And then you finally get that welcome to resettle in a third country. So for this situation, because of how urgent it was, as you mentioned, a lot of people were given the humanitarian parole for 2 years, and then it can be renewed. I think in Idaho, the immigration clinics you're talking about, a lot of people were able to apply for asylum so that could be a permanent status. Was that successful, or there's still a lot of people in Idaho who are kind of left in limbo by, temporary protected status was revoked. Humanitarian parole, it's not being renewed, I believe. Are there still a lot of people here in our community in limbo because of that, or were a lot of them successfully able to get
Fortunately,
asylum?
not many of them, because we really that partnership with Christensen Law, which was a great decision that we made. He said 10 cases, and I said, okay, because I always try to get, and I knew he's very expert from my previous job also when I was with the hospital. So we started, and I said, okay, you do the 10 cases, we do. Since myself and my coworker both speak the language, we could translate, we could, complete intake forms and everything to make it easy for attorney or the legal firm. So we had 99% of approval so far, and a client only one case is still pending, and from IRC around 16 or 15 cases pending. So that was still pending. Everybody applied for asylum who needed to apply. But in the last few months with the new administration and changes in administration, we have some of those people in limbo of not having renewed their work authorization, pending cases. Everything is so slow. So I have yesterday a case that his green card and work authorization was expired, so he cannot drive, he cannot work, which is challenging. He has 2 kids who were born here, and the spouse and himself. And also, when you're pending asylum, you're not eligible for public assistance. So I was searching in the community to get him aid for food, and for coming month for rent and all of those stuff. And then another one is coming also to expiring in a few days. And since 2022, pending adjustment of status for SIV, which is really hard. And I know that it's a job, but it's not a job for me because I care about people. These are human. They're not numbers for me. I go home. I contact friends. Our senator offices are really great in Idaho. We call them. And even this morning, they connect with me back about one of the cases, like, hey, we are working on it. So we want to make sure that we get an outcome and let you know.
It's tough because a huge part of the goal of resettlement is that people can be self-sufficient. And I know it's what people want for themselves, too. They want to come and get on their feet and work. And so just to have that taken away because of a delay in processing, it must be excruciating for people.
Yeah, and he was a pilot,
Oh, wow.
allied with the U.S. government, and everything is slow. Another case, also green card is pending for last 3 years. And no request for any extra evidence or any interview to schedule, which is out of processing time for both those individuals. And I know more coming, and we have also Ukrainians that they're pending.
Yeah.
It's not just Afghans, but right now the topic is about Afghan. We're talking. Also, we have all refugees, that their travels were arranged to come in February or January, which canceled. And those people in the other countries, that's not their home. They don't have money. They don't have job, You're not authorized to work. It's really challenging, and I'm experiencing with my own family that the case was approved, giving to IRC, the case was assured, and still no arrival, so I understand really it's challenging. But the most challenging is the family reunification part. All these people who are evacuated, there was a new form created for their spouses and children, mostly women and children under 18 or under 21, that we completed all those stuff, spent a lot of time, not much success. Only 2 cases came out of that. And also the I-730 form that for family reunification once your asylum is approved. And as of June 2nd, when we got the last one, all of our cases who go for interview, again, I want to repeat that, women and children, their cases are denied because of the ban on Afghanistan. And nobody knows if the ban is left, can they get the visa or not, or they have to restart the process. And that process takes so long. And a lot of work for us, for the families, mental health,
Yeah.
They're all working here, providing to this economy, they're giving taxes, and employers calling me when their spouse coming, depression, and the focus. And we all know that Afghanistan is not safe for women. And we all know that Iran and Pakistan, how they treat Afghan and deporting them, humiliate them every day. So it's really challenging. And I hope people can advocate for these women. I haven't seen any Afghan woman to put United States in danger.
Yeah.
I respect the executive order that the administration put. I know they have their own point of view. But from my point of view, women and children, and especially younger children, one of my cases that the spouse is here, that woman is with cancers, and I had medical background. He showed me all the documents and everything. So there's no care for cancer in Afghanistan right now as a woman, and he has 3 small children under 10. If something happened to her because it's last stage, who will take care of those 3 children? And the father is here. If the father goes, he will be killed because he was supporting the U.S. government back in his previous job.
Yeah.
So I see every day those stuff, which also trigger my trauma.
Yeah.
And people say work is work. Again, I'm telling it's not, because we are working with human, and I was in that country, what I went through, and I know how hard it is for me to, get again every day on my feet and come back. The hope I get, because I want to help those people, and I want to be their voices, because those women are still in Afghanistan. They don't have voice. I can be their voice here and support the husbands, telling them, hey, I understand you completely, but it's not in our hand. We're trying our best.
Yeah.
So hopefully Idaho community hear that, and United States, all the community, to support these women and children who are at risk there, and their spouses are here and worried about them.
It's so hard because I've heard from some of the men who were in the military, and the way they evacuated so quickly and then had their phones taken away, they had no opportunity to get their wife and kids out. But they thought, okay, I'll get out and then I can work on that process from somewhere safe and get them out too. And you were successfully reuniting families through, like you said, the follow to join visas. But it does feel like this year, the doors and the paths that were open to families coming back together have one by one been shut down. You know, the refugee resettlement program has been suspended. Welcome Corps private sponsorship resettlement has been suspended. The travel to join now is not able to be a pathway because of the travel ban. And it's just, I just feel for these families knowing that they want more than anything to get their loved ones to safety here with them. And I think they expected that as part of, you know, the U.S. commitment to them, that would be part of the deal, right? Take care of you, take care of your family. But so I do want to see that part of the deal honored and have people.
I hope.
Yeah.
There is a group, you know, Afghan evac. So they go every day, I think, to the capital talking and trying to pass. That's for special immigrant visa holders. And I hope that they also think about family reunification because, as I said, 99.9% are women and children under 21. And I don't think so they will put this country in danger when they give them safety like myself. I came 25 years ago. I never been even a day without work or being on public assistance, so that's not a goal. And another thing is a misconception. People think that we are in the line coming to U.S. and make, you know, put this country in danger. As a refugee, you don't have a choice where you want to go. You're choosing where to go. And on that moment, you don't care. You just want to go out of danger to a safety. And for me, no matter how much they tell me I don't belong here, I belong here because I spent most of my life in United States. So I was only 15 years in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Being refugee, before that I was a student in Europe. So where you spend the most of your life and where you gain safety, where you get the support. Really, I'm so happy. That's why I'm still in Boise. Many friends call me, come to Virginia, come to California. You have better jobs, opportunities, better pays. I'm like, no. Idaho is my home because people supported me, Special Agency for the Americans. I came as a client, got a job, Idaho Office for Refugee, Janus, previously Mountain States Group, and all these volunteers who support our program and refugees. It's really pushing me and give me a hope to move forward every day. By the end of the day, I say, oh my God, am I able to come tomorrow to work? And again, I'm happy with energy coming, thinking like there are people who went through worse than I went through, so I can be helpful. And people are not aware what people go through. I was kidnapped by Taliban. I was attacked at the UN guest house by Taliban 2 times, and that's why I'm here. Otherwise, I was a doctor. My pay was even more after 25 years in there as a doctor and servant. Everything was perfect, but you cannot carry everything in the same hand, so you have to see which one weigh more. My safety was more important than the material for me. That's why I came to U.S. and it was chosen. People don't choose where to go. And hope people, you know, put political views aside and think about humanitarian work, not as a political work, as a social work, because no matter what religion we believe, all religions teach us to be helpful to others who need your help.
Yeah, and Syed, I want to hear from you too. With the community right now, I mean, Yasmin's sharing some really painful things that people are going through, and I want to honor too what you've gone through and are going through now. And how are things for you, and how do you find, hope right now through what people are going through? How does it look with the community to support each other?
It is the tough time where I had to flee my country to find safety. But with all the political situation and the climate has changed a little bit, and a lot of people, as Yasmin mentioned, are still trying to reunite with their families who have left in Afghanistan. It's so heartbreaking and so depressing to me and for my community members here. And we have to carry this out, not alone, but be together and support each other. And
especially the last event happened in Afghanistan, the earthquake. over 4,000 that they found, and still people are there. I saw first 1,000, and then the numbers are going high and high.
And that's
it's
something
really
that hits close to home, because I know people in Idaho had family and loved ones affected by the earthquake. So it's just like they can't catch a break right now.
Yeah, it's really hard. One event after another event.
Well, it makes me thankful that the Pace for Peace chose Afghanistan, because just hearing from you, Yasmin, about what some of the clients are going through and families back home, I think it's so important that we keep talking about it. It's almost one of those things that even for me interviewing you both about it, it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's too painful. I don't want to bring up hurtful things for both of you. But Syed, how should the community be thinking about that? Like talking about it, keeping it, in our conversations, in our thoughts, like.
I think communicating, like, how do you feel, like how much capacity can you take, or are you interested in like talking about your story or talking about this topic is really important before bringing up the topic. And also we know this is so heavy and painful to talk about, but we do need to call out people and raise awareness about what's happening here and what's happening back home. And so grateful that Pace for Peace is doing this for Afghanistan. And I do want to talk about our collaboration with the organization that we are going to be transferring the fund to.
Yeah.
So the organization we chosen to collaborate with is called Qamar Foundation, and they're a charity organization based in UK, and they're providing humanitarian assistance to the people in Afghanistan, and they've done a lot of service. They've built hundreds of houses in all different province. They've built the schools. They have a private school where they support over 1,200 orphan kids who lost their parents during war or during a disaster, which earthquake 4 days ago happened is a big example. And most often, like, those people don't have anyone to provide for them, and they decide to work and escape school. And Qamar Foundation helped those kids and pay for their basic needs, for their food, clothing, as well as school tuition, just to help them and advocate for them so they can go to school and continue their education. Another service they've done is building 1,000, if not hundreds, of wells at different villages to provide accessibility of water to the people who live in the villages, and more and more other services they're providing. And our goal was to help them fundraise for education, since education for girls have been a really big topic, and it's really heartbreaking to see girls in Afghanistan have no right of education and no freedom at all. So our goal was to raise money to help them with their private school, to support more orphan kids. And if we raise more, then hopefully they can build another school in a different part of Afghanistan. But unfortunately, with the earthquake happened, and the last 2 months, over 3 million people got deported from Iran and Pakistan. And it's so a lot to handle, like the government cannot take care of them at all.
Yeah.
So right now our mission is to fund 40% of how much we raise for education, and then the 60% for people who have been affected by the earthquake and people who have been deported from the neighbor countries
Back into Afghanistan.
Yes.
I wish we had USAID.
Yeah.
So that way we don't have to go to London. Yeah, we could support from here and give that fund to USAID to work. But since the new administration came, the USAID funds were cut.
Yeah.
So we could help people. I cannot imagine what people go through, and especially when you're deported. You were there for over 30 years in Pakistan or Iran. You don't have anything left in Afghanistan. When you go back, where do you live? There are no jobs, and Taliban government, no schools. Even people who are there, they have jobs, some of them. There's no pay for them. So I have still extended family members that they don't have a way to go out, but they don't get. They're selling their stuff every day, what they had for them. But imagine about people who are coming from Pakistan and Iran after 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
how they can survive, but they don't have option. I always say it's like a hell. There is no way to go out. There's no exit for Afghans. They're all burning. And it makes me so sad.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I know you and I have had times of crying together over this because of how helpless things can feel sometimes, and I'm really sorry, Yasmin.
And I don't want to be selfish, just talk about Afghans. But this is the hot topic right now. Others can travel to other countries, to bordering countries, Afghans not.
Yeah.
Even for their interviews, the visa for Pakistan is $70, but an Afghan has to pay $1,000 to $1,500 bribe to get a visa. So that's not fair. And Iran, forget about it. Northern countries, former Soviet Union countries, forget about it. People don't even make money and pay for their interviews. Some of the spouses of my clients, they have to pay thousands and thousands for exit visa, for visa to Pakistan, for their interviews. And then people come to the guest house when they go to wait for their interviews, even though the U.S. Embassy provides some papers. Is really challenging because we don't have any way out of that hell. Yeah. And it's getting worse and worse. What century we are, where the world is, we have all these high technology things, and in Afghanistan, people half of the day don't have even a power. Forget about school or other things. People don't have food, and we don't see that until you experience. And that's why, we are not selfish to talk just about Afghanistan, but they don't have any way to go out.
Yeah.
Every day people are deporting. And we don't have many offices in Pakistan even to work who support Afghan refugees before. It's really hard. And getting hard for us too, because we have clients here. They're suffering,
Yeah.
And they have family members there, extended or immediate, and our hands are tied. Like my brother. And finally, I did the sponsorship through Sponsorship Corp that I take care of all the expenses through refugee program. That stopped. Then I was so happy because I applied as a U.S. citizen for sibling. My brother visa is available, and I completed papers. And then through the ban, U.S. citizen siblings are not allowed to come, so the ban affect them too. So I was so happy. Okay, refugee program stopped. They can come that way. That doesn't work. So. And imagine how many more families like me are affected by these situations and by the ban on Afghans, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not fair. Everybody should be affected by that.
Yeah, it's so hard to see, and I'm so sorry for what your family is going through, Yasmin. I know people hearing this might wonder, is there anything they can do? And I know Pace for Peace is one amazing way people can support while coming together. It's more than just raising money. It's about, we are a community. We stand together in hard times. So I encourage people to go to Pace for Peace on September 27th in Boise.
Exactly.
But is there anything else people can do that you think would make a difference right now? Is that contacting their elected officials and saying, we care about Afghans, these are our allies? Is that helpful, do you think?
I think yes. If each community member who know about the issue and feel it, that it's important and it's a humanitarian issue, can write the letters to our elected officials here, and they can send it, they can say send it to the White House, especially for women and children. They can put the ban away from the woman at least, and it's possible because these women don't have any fault. Most of them, they cannot provide without husband, you cannot go out even shop. Imagine about go out to work. There is no job for them, no school, nothing. So if at least we can unite the spouses of these families who supported this country, I would urge everyone in the community can write a letter. If they know a person, they can write their story with their permission, or in general, that Afghan women and their children don't have any fault, and there is no evidence that Afghan women and small children put this country in danger. If we can put something out of that ban, there's always exceptions, and support these people who already work in this country. And we are yelling and screaming about legal immigration. If we stop already deporting people who work in our field, in the hospitality industry, dairy, restaurants, all of those, why we don't allow these people to come? Because that's legal pathway. These all I-730s are approved and their visas are getting denied. And they're all women and children. Many Afghan women were working in the hotels and housekeeping. And right now we get calls from employers. They need workers, but we don't have workers to provide them. We don't have refugees are coming. What can be better than this pathway when people are coming legal and we don't allow them? And please support Afghan women. Of course, all refugees, urge the government to allow at least these men get their spouses here and have their happy family. As a Christian, as a Muslim, as a Jewish, we all want families be together, not separated.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for sharing. I know this is a heavy topic. I know it's your own lives that are impacted. Syed, can you share what you hope for Pace for Peace this time around?
This Pace for Peace is really, really important to me, and I feel connected. And I'm hoping that the community show us their support and show up to our event. As you mentioned, September 27th, 3 p.m. to sunset, we are having this event at Veterans Memorial Park. Want to get your ticket? You can go on pace4peace.org. We have a website now, and
it's the number 4?
No, for our Instagram, it's space number 4 peace 5K, and for our website, pace4peace.org.
Okay.
Just keep supporting, keep talking about this. I know this is a tough topic, but at the end of the day, I have a lot of hope that how we are uplifting all the people in the community, whether immigrant, refugees, are from the U.S. We can tap on them and we can count them as our neighbors, and they can count us as their neighbors and friends. Raise awareness and keep talking about this till we come up with a really good result and be able to advocate for the people who can't advocate for themselves, and speak up for those people that don't have a voice or can't speak for themselves at this moment.
Yeah, and our community is so interweaved with Afghan culture because of the many years that people have been resettling here. Syed, can you share some of the things about your Afghan culture that you are proud to still carry with you here, even though you're living here now, that you keep alive in your own life that you're proud of?
Oh, yeah. We have, of course, our culture is very rich. Kindness, hospitality is the top one. And I can really relate it with the Idahoans and people in Boise, where you walk to them and then they smile at you. And we have hospitality and kindness and supporting each other as a big example of how Afghans always willing to give and support and be kind to other people, whether they're Afghans or from another country, as well as our holiday celebration. Going to the mosque on Friday, or celebrating Eid or Nowruz, which is the Afghan New Year, or wearing your traditional clothes on a holiday, or going visiting your friends. The community in Afghanistan are really linked and connected to each other. And seeing those all here and experiencing the hospitality of the people in Boise and connecting that with how we are so hospitable and have the opportunity to celebrate our uniqueness, unity, and culture here in Boise, and the rest of other people from all over the world is so amazing.
And I can second with food,
Yeah.
Afghan
you cook a lot too, huh?
I love to cook. That's my mental health treatment, when I'm stressed at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Every day I'm cooking from scratch, except once a week my husband says, no, I will order pizza because your dad loves pizza. So. And my dad loves his pizza with ketchup, so I don't know why.
With ketchup?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Does he live with you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Pizza with ketchup.
That's
good.
In that thing, we talk about depressing issues and challenges and also good stuff, happening in here. We have Kabul market, and it's an Afghan market. We have grocery there. I'm happy to go, that's part of the culture. See stuff like we buy for celebration days, some of the dry fruit and stuff. We can get it before I had to drive to California, or when I flew, I had to buy my stuff. But now here is just a few minutes away from my office, so I can go get. And then we have 2 restaurants in Boise, Afghan restaurant, Taste of Persia, which is on 5 Mile and Ustic, and then we have a kebab house off of Emerald and Maple Grove, and the Taste of Persia owner is a woman, Afghan woman. Again, I'm talking and defending women, and she has another business, Golden Needle, upholstery and drapery, and she did for a state through her job when she had it, and now she's doing for different hotels. And she's doing well. She employed even Americans, other refugees in her restaurant, in her upholstery business. And I'm so proud of her. And I wish I could be like her. Most of the time when she get, restaurant is not easy, I'm like, no, you don't have to sell your restaurant. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, it's hard. And if anyone wants to learn more about Taste of Persia, they were featured on Mosaics. I think it's been 2 years now because we were in the old studio. But that family, her and her husband and her son, came on to talk about Taste of Persia. So check that one out. And I did eat there for our anniversary last year, so that was fun.
And you can have it for events. It's beautiful, the drapery, the lighting, and everything.
Of space.
Yeah.
And then Sunshine Spice, too.
Oh, Sunshine. Yeah. Oh, my God. How I can forget them. They were our clients when they came, all young children with the parents, the 5 sisters. And they start going to school and working. And I never forget, Bahar said, I'm not ashamed of cleaning bathrooms. They were working so hard going to school. Then it happened because I did presentations in Boise State University, and also their students doing their projects with us, service learning. And the professors were like, oh my God, do you know these girls? I'm like, they were our clients. So how great students they were that the professors were talking so high of them, and they opened their second location in Boise downtown. And it's not easy. They lost a lot of weight working in 2 restaurants and cafe, and the food is very good. They don't have a full Afghan menu, but there's a cafe. You can have some Afghan food and pastry.
I recommend the dumplings.
The dumplings and their pastry is perfect. Every time I have a meeting with a volunteer or someone, I'm like, let's meet in Sunshine Spice. Those girls are great. They went to college. They provide it back to this community, and I see so many Americans being there and, having their coffee and their laptop working. Yeah. And for me, being 25 years in the Agency for New Americans, it's really like a journey. I can write a book, and those pages will be forever to finish, because all our clients are unique, no matter Afghans or from anywhere they're coming from. I have seen them from the time they came. And when I go to Global Garden, we have refugee gardeners from different countries, Somali Bantu. That was my first case. They call by my name. Sometimes I feel bad because I don't remember everybody's name, but they still remember, because first impression is very important. Our leadership, Slobodan, our director, always tell us we have to be kind. Even if we don't have enough funding, the first impression, nobody will forget about that. So that's what we do. Smile, receive people, and we can befriend. Another client of us from Syria, they have a star market, and the owner, and they are great. When I went, those kids were so small. Now one is married, and they're running the restaurant. The mom is there, and it makes me happy to see the outcome. You don't see the outcome right away, but later. Sometimes as a nonprofit worker, we feel so depressed and sad and overwhelmed and overworked, because nonprofit doesn't give you a lot of money to. But then you fulfill yourself with all what you see. The flowers, when they bloom, it takes time. By the time the spring comes, when you see the blooming, it's great. And I'm so happy working with the Agency for New Americans, Idaho Office for Refugee, and Janice for 25 years. I don't know how long more, but we will see.
We're so lucky to have you.
Yeah, and we wish safety for all refugees who are still waiting for their journey to be resettled. And they're still in refugee camps in unsafe situations, dealing with challenges. Hopefully, our government change their direction or strategy and help those people who need our help, because we are a huge country and we are first in the world, and we have to show the world how we can be first in the world, not just by words, but in action.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Yasmin.
You're welcome.
Sid, I want to come to you for any final thoughts as we wrap up today. I mean, you've still got your journey ahead of you. You got 1 year left in college, and then do you know what's next after that? What do you hope for?
I don't know. Just taking one step at a time. I have a lot of hope, like going to graduate school, getting my PhD, but I don't want to talk about them now because
Are you like, it won't happen if I say it out loud? Knock on wood.
that's a possibility, yeah. But have to focus on present,
Yeah.
and have hope for future, and use the past as your experience to carry with you. And with our nonprofit, since it's brand new, I have a lot of passion and really care about like what I've been through and all the tough days, and now having the privilege to run that nonprofit and with along with my other friends, it's gonna be a really big responsibility, and I'm so grateful and hopeful that we can build a bigger community here and be able to advocate for many, many more people, individuals and family here in Boise.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's been amazing. I met you a couple years ago, and just in that time to see your involvement, your growth, your leadership, your confidence, I'm really thankful for you and thankful for what you bring to the community.
Can I add something in that?
Yeah.
So the first time when Sept came to our run for refugee, and he was running so fast, and I think you got the first place, yeah?
I got the second or third place.
Okay. And my husband said, I don't think so I will win because there's a boy, an Afghan boy, he's very fast. And then when I saw what he organized, I'm here for 25 years, our office with all the resources we had, how many people were and how much we raised. And when we did that in May, I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed, like a young person who just came with all the challenges, trauma, the struggle to make his own life, and then organize such a great thing. And I was seeing everybody was calling Sept, and we were driving him crazy too because the profits, the money was coming to us. It was really good. And I think when they came first, I met them in the immigration process. I would say every credit goes to the mom who take care of all the 4 brothers.
Wow.
And she's a strong woman, and it's a blessing for me to meet people like her and having the boys that they're really in the good path and giving back, even though they need a lot of help, but to see them, they give 90% back to the community. Him and his brothers, that make me so happy and proud to call myself still Afghan American.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Shout out to all women.
Thanks. No, I'm just kidding. Well, thank you both. It's been a tough conversation, and there's a lot of hardship going on, but I'm glad, Yasmin, you reminded us of the beauty and the food and dreams coming true, and Syed, everything that you're doing to uplift other people and how hard you're working. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I really hope everyone listening, if you can, I mean, Pace for Peace is a 5K, but you guys always say, if you don't want to run it, you don't have to run.
I can say jog, walk, and run.
Walk. We
Or
definitely
crawl.
did some walking in May because it was hot.
Yeah.
So-
I can add into that. On the fly, we say it's family friendly. You can walk it, jog it, run it, or bike it, crawl it.
Crawl it.
Or be there.
If
clap.
not, just be there and cheer the runners who are walking, jogging, running, biking. If you don't want to run and cheer at all, you can just show up.
Yeah.
This event, we're going to have Congolese food, Mama G, and we have in the Malaysian food vendor as well. Along as my friend will be selling Somalian tea, iced tea and hot tea. We'll have a group of dancers who are going to be performing dance. We may have DJ, different fun activities for kids, and it's next to a playground. So it's like open for everyone, so family friendly, and can bring your pets. My friend brought her cat last time to the Run for Refugees.
I did see the cat, the hairless cat, right?
Yeah. And for the tickets, we have a regular ticket, we have a student discount ticket, we have the group run discount, and we're going to have a really fun event. I'm so excited and can't wait. We do have weekly runs every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Veterans Memorial Park. If you want to get into running, we're not like serious runner. We don't run too fast. It's just bringing community together and networking and connecting with each other from all over the town.
That's great.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for doing this again for the community and to your whole group of co-organizers and students. I know it's a team effort, and so to all of you, thank you so much.
Really, yes. You're welcome.
Thank you, Yasmin, for being here too.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining the conversation. For more information on how to be involved with refugee resettlement, please visit idahorefugees.org. Mosaics is produced by the Idaho Office for Refugees with grant support from the M.J. Murdoch Charitable Trust. Music by the Afrosonics. Production in partnership with SB Studios.